Keeping you informed. This is In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS.
All right, welcome back here on In.form on WJTS and WBDC. Joined in the studio with Dave Flynn and Steve Lindauer on this Veterans Day. Good morning, and thank you for your service.
Good morning, Ty.
Thank you, Ty.
Appreciate that. Thank you for yours.
Now, we've got a lot of things coming up, but let's kind of recap here because, well, you celebrated a birthday.
We did. For those of us that are Marines, we celebrated our 249th birthday this past weekend.
And you only work like you're 230.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, I work out and, I eat a lot. And
you eat well, though.
I do eat well, yes. It's the quantity I have a problem with,
Yeah,
but we
same.
had a great event. We had, a nice showing there.
Had a very special event. I mean, just a couple quick recaps on that. We had our guest of honor, or our guest speaker, Diane Shaw, who is the director of Southern Indiana Honor Flight, which is so important to veterans in Southern Indiana. She came in and gave us a good overview of her journey on how she became involved, and it's really compelling and, just makes you to work that much harder for Honor Flight.
Yeah, they just finished up EVD 17.
Wow.
And we got another one coming up
May 3rd.
May 3rd. And a shout out to the Jaspers JCs. They gave her a check for $1,000 that evening.
Proceeds from some of the money they made during Strassenfest was
Right.
presented a check to them, and that was a big thing.
Huge amount.
Another nice thing just out of the blue, we were kind of practicing our ceremony before, and so we do want to give a shout out to our newly elected Congressman Mark Messmer, who I don't think he goes anywhere without his bugle, and it's a good thing because yes, you have tape, but if you can have it live, it's so much more meaningful. And he jumped in, no practice, and really did an incredible job for us with taps and the national anthem.
Right.
And it was just beautiful. And I know he's involved in a lot of things across the whole community and this area with helping play music. And it just means so much more when, your elected officials, your community, your businesses. We had the Civil Air Patrol, the new squadron out of Huntingburg, do our color guard. If everybody's involved, it's just more meaningful, especially. And that's how people learn about veterans.
And everybody do just a little bit. And if I might circle back just a little bit to the bugle thing, we need buglers. Back, I know 20 years ago, probably less than that, my nephew, who later became a Marine, he played bugles he played taps for various, cemetery events and things like that. So a shout out to you, band directors at the various high schools. If you've got a young man or woman that's willing to play the bugle and do taps for us, there's how many, like 13, 14 organizations
13
in
with the
county.
Dubois County Veterans Council right now.
Right.
And always in need of buglers for different events.
Right. And the chances are, I can't speak for
There's only one
everybody,
Mark Messmer.
No.
There is. And
There is,
he is.
right.
He is a busy man, and will be
Yes.
busier. But it can be instrumental too. Again, the music for these ceremonies and stuff. It's it's so meaningful, and it can be instrumental of different types to make these things happen.
Yeah.
You mentioned the honor flight. I had the honor of being involved with one of the honor flights years ago. If you have not been down there, at least to the airport during the welcome home, I cannot recommend it enough.
Hardly a dry eye.
Oh,
You
it's
can't.
it's
you
amazing.
can't. I'm tearing up a little bit right now just thinking about it because
it's amazing.
it means so much to these veterans, and so many of them, may not have even been on an airplane since they got out of the service, whenever that was, and to go to the nation's capital and to be shown, the honor and dignity that they all deserve. It's just really incredible.
And getting that big welcome home parade when they get back, I saw a guy stand up in his wheelchair, and I had an opportunity to talk to his caregiver, who was also his daughter. He hadn't stood in years.
Yeah.
But there was no way that he wasn't going to.
Yep. Well, 86 veterans. We do 2 flights a year for Southern Indiana. I think there's a total of 5 or 6 flights for the state, but 2 that are concentrated on Southern Indiana. Southern Indiana Leathernecks, but Honor Flight, SouthernIndiana.com. Get on there. If you're not a veteran, get into the database and, go on this flight. I mean, there's
I think that's
really
actually
need to do it.
.org.
Oh, .org.
.com.
You can go to SILDmarines.com too.
Yeah,
There's a link on there.
We've got all kinds of links to all of that stuff.
Now, we had a young gentleman in here in the studio, and actually he did some work for us in the past, Sam Osterman. He was actually sitting in that seat last time we had an interview in here, and he has a project, a very special project that we want to talk about this morning that was recently erected, and that's the POW MIA monument.
Well,
Right.
it's he has really taken this on and did a really great job for the county and the local area, and really for the state. I mean, because it's dedicated to all MIA and POWs for the state of Indiana.
As an Eagle Scout project.
As
correct?
his Eagle
Yeah.
Scout project, he's a senior at Jasper High School. I've been involved. He approached me on Memorial Day when we were doing our ceremony on the square, and we do a POW MIA piece for Memorial Day. And in fact, this weekend they got the monument erected sooner than expected, and we did a soft unveil of that Saturday morning after the countywide mass at St. Joe's. So at 9:00 we went to the square and did a soft unveiling. We're planning a major event for the county and to pay attention to, because that word will be coming very soon, as soon as we can get the planning done, starting tomorrow when all the offices are back open for us to discuss them with.
Right.
Another individual we want to talk about this morning is Chris Boone. And for those of you who are like, who's Chris Boone? It's just Boone. Everybody knows him as Boone.
Yeah.
But he is the founder of Operation Body, Mind, and Soul. And he is one busy man. And he has got a lot that he's already done.
Navy vet
submariner.
Yeah.
It's a lot that he's already done. There's a lot that he's got coming down the pipes. He is changing some things. And the first of all, the facility itself at the River Center is amazing. It's a great place. There's more on the line. If you watch the Scuttlebutt that Dave hosts and Steve on as well, you'll find more information on some of the upcoming things. But he is very, very passionate about suicide awareness with veterans because, as you both know, it is a problem, and it continues to be a problem. When we were deployed in 2008, I believe we had in the whole brigade, we lost 2 soldiers overseas, both to rollover accidents. When we got back, we lost dozens within 2 months for suicide. It's a big problem.
It's trauma. And again, people deal with things in a different way, and they need to know that there's ways to reach out. And it's nothing, again, we say stop the stigma. It's not, there's no weakness involved in asking for help.
In fact, it's the exact opposite. That's strength.
And if family members or friends, do not worry about someone being upset maybe at your initial, they want you to know, or you wouldn't know. And if you know, you need to reach out to somebody. Suicide is not a joking matter.
And for those of you who are in that situation, for that, there are so many programs here locally and organizations, again, and I know a lot of veterans find it hard to, even as psychologists, to relate to someone who, in their mind, isn't a veteran, doesn't know what I'm talking about, hasn't gone through the stuff. And that's one of the reasons why Boone is so passionate about this, because he was affected by a suicide in that manner and has gone through all the training and stuff. He's a veteran himself. Right. He's there to, it doesn't even have to be to necessarily sit down and tell me your feelings kind of thing. This is a safe place.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great place. There's a gym component to it. There's places to sit down, have a cup of coffee, talk to other veterans, and just, have some quiet time. It's really a good place for veterans of all ages.
21 vets a day, I think, is the statistic.
Wow.
That take their lives nationwide. That's nationwide, which is a higher statistic than in the civilian side of it. So that's tragic. Unfortunately, it's a reality.
And as Boone, again, with Boone and his work with Mind, Body, Soul Corp, and along with Locking Arms and other organizations that deal with veteran suicide, he is now on the forefront of an initiative here going in Indiana where they're going to set up regional
he's won one in every county almost.
And well, there will be eventually, but they'll start out as regional. They'll cover like a 7, 9, 10 county area, and he is on the forefront of some of the planning and the fundraising that's going to be involved to make this happen in a reality here and around Dubois County much earlier than in other areas.
And he was recently recognized by the Indianapolis Colts and Crown, and deservedly so. So, Boone, if you're listening, thank you.
He does so much. He helps the Marine Corps League. His wife, Janelle, is as busy or busier than him through the JCs and a number of organizations. I mean, it's really a family effort and really a beautiful thing to see.
You know, guys, I'd like to something that came to mind right before we went on air that has hit me personally. I know the Colonel as well. We don't always say enough about the military spouses.
Oh, my goodness. Can't say enough.
The stuff that they go through, the agony and, waiting for your loved one to get back, if they get back. And from my standpoint, my beautiful wife and I have been married, be 52 years this December.
Way out of his
It was
league.
just, I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I think drugs were involved or something. I don't know.
Most veteran wives, or spouses, it's not just wives, but spouses.
Yes.
I mean, they are a breed among themselves because not only do they, go through all the stuff with not having, their other half around to help them regardless of the issue, it's they also live, your frustrations, your joys, your sadness when stuff happens throughout your military career.
And many times you don't have their immediate family, your moms and dads, brothers and sisters, because you might be certainly out of state and many times out of overseas. Now, having said that, there is a family of people tend to come together. The community, the veterans, or I'm sorry, the active duty families come together, and they do support each other simply by necessity. But
it is, and you have a lot of people in the same boat, especially during times of deployment and high operational tempo. And those family readiness support groups and family support groups on all the bases around the country do a fantastic job. But with that, also, just really quick, people again on Veterans Day. I spoke about the Guard and Reserve. We know our active duty forces, but the DoD civilians and the DoD contractors do so much for our military and for our veterans. I mean, it's again, these things are glossed over because it just happens. You don't hear about it. You don't necessarily talk about it unless, this person did something super or, this person did something really, really bad. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about on Veterans Day. It's a total force, and none of the different components operate independently.
Right. We are running out of time here this morning, but there's a couple of events that are coming up that we definitely wanted to mention, including Wreaths Across America. That's going to be happening at the Shiloh Cemetery on December 14th. Briefly, Steve, if you want to tell us a little bit about Wreaths Across America.
Yeah, that's just that's coming up. It started in Arlington National Cemetery a few years back. Doyle Evans is I actually was on there with him earlier, late last week. Doyle is also an Army veteran. He's the one that brought it to me, and he's become very, very active with it. And so we've got it coming up December 14 at Shiloh Cemetery at noon. We're going to have the CAP kids going to be doing the color guard. We're going to have a rifle squad there. And again, Senator Mark Messmer is going to be my bugler, and I just ran into a young man this morning. It's going to be an echo. And then we've got John Smith, who is a bagpipes. Yeah, he's very good with bagpipes. So if you ever want to see something out there, it's really cool out there out in the woods out there. It's a neat
also
thing.
The Gold Star Memorial Muzzle Loader Hunt.
Yep, that's coming up. This will be our second one. We got that for the deer season, muzzleloading deer season. Ian Denyu up at Dubois has been so gracious to host it last year. And that is a thing where we've got veterans. Most of them are local guys now. Last year we had 2 guys from out of state come up there, and it's a 4-day hunt and lots of volunteers up there. Can't say enough about the people who support us with food and just the support and the various support things that they give us.
One last thing that we want to mention before we go, and one last shout out too, because we're going to lose somebody here locally that has just done a fantastic job, and that is our VSO, or the Dubois County Veteran Service Officer, Susan Bramlett, who will unfortunately be leaving us and going back home, or back where she's from in that area, I guess.
Yeah. Oregon, I think she's.
I believe it's Oregon or California, one of the two. Yep. But man, you talk. She has just been a game changer in that office.
She's transformed.
She absolutely has.
Transformed people's ideas of what we can do with veteran services here in the county.
We lovingly call her Coastie because she's a retired member of the U.S. Coast Guard. She's been had such an impact on the area, and just a little bulldog. I think we've all gotten close with her that have worked with her over the last couple of years, and we wish her nothing but the best. There is an opening for that position, by the way.
They are interviewing. Ralph Hughes is still in there taking information for people while she will be gone, and move on here at the end of the month. But they are interviewing for that, it's a must fill with someone who's passionate, not just about helping veterans, but just helping the area and making this a better place for everybody.
And she has certainly done that. And she has told me, myself, I don't care where I am in the world, I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And someone with that kind of passion, obviously that's some pretty big shoes to fill, but definitely need to be filled because, as you know, there's veterans everywhere here in Dubois County.
There is. And
if there's someone interested in looking at that position, you can go to DuboisCounty.gov, I think, and go under job opportunities or something to that effect. You can kind of get the idea, and go on that. And if you've got a hankering, if you will, to serve. I think it's a part-time job for now. Is that correct? And we need somebody to fit that spot. But as the Colonel said, Ralph Hughes is in there now, so it's not like we've got a blank in the services. There's still somebody there to help you out if you want to sign up for something.
Ralph knows what he's doing, but he needs some help in there.
I mean, and again, to be a veteran service officer, you have to be certified nationally. Ralph can help us with so many things and get the veteran started on the right path. So when we can get a service officer either through the DAV, like we're going to do here November 14th at the VFW for all veterans, starting at 5 o'clock in the evening until we're done, and helping veterans with their claims and services out of the VFW on Thursday, November 14th.
If you're a veteran, I highly suggest you stop by the Dubois County Veteran Service Office. If you have not done anything as far as that with somebody with claims or benefits or anything, you've earned it. You deserve it. Get in there, talk to them.
That includes National Guard and Reserve.
Yes. And Coast Guard.
And Coast Guard and Space Force and all of it.
Yes.
Everybody who's served, I mean, you're a veteran. That's plain and simple.
Yeah. Happy Veterans Day to all the men and women out there who have answered this nation's call. This has been In.form on 18 WJTS and WBDC.
This has been In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS. Catch past episodes on our social media pages and our websites. If it matters to you, it matters to us. In.form.